Good morning, Mel. I love the idea of talking about free speech and the First Amendment and our constitutional right to freedom of speech and sharing information. What brought you about to actually putting this together in a documentary?
Well, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, you start to think of ways that you could beat the beast. You know what I mean? And that we are in a beast right now. We're in a beast system. And the reality is, I should be much bigger. I'm bigger, but I'm bigger in different ways. Like my body's bigger than it should be, right? But on podcasting, I should be a lot bigger than what I am. And I'm one of the most stifled, one of the most censored people. I'm in the same book as Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent, a guy that could fill up, stadiums, 60, 70,000 people stadiums all over the world, can't get past 5,000, 6,000 views. What's wrong with that picture besides everything? Everything. So I want to thank you for inviting me. I'm delighted that you're inviting me on your show, and it's because we got to get the word out. Right now, we got challenges. The idea was that this movie could literally get on Donald Trump's desk. Now, from what I understand, Trennis Evans, who was hired by Donald Trump, has already saw the trailer, and he's working directly with who? Trump Jr. And they're working on what? Bringing in attorneys to fight exactly what we're fighting about, free speech. So from a timing standpoint, we hit the bullseye, right? From a timing
Yes.
standpoint. So it's great. The idea came basically one day when we were having a podcast. I said we should write a letter to Donald Trump or maybe an audio or something. And then as I started to tell them about my idea to my co-host, they all jumped in and it became like a feeding frenzy of sort. And all of a sudden, it was like, okay, the idea of a letter and the idea of the audio and the idea of sending it to Donald Trump and hoping that one or two or both would end up on his desk became, hey, why don't we just make a documentary?
What a great idea. And this way you can actually get the word out around the world about what is going on in the United States. And, this has been total insanity for what, 5 years now?
It's crazy. Well, it's been longer than that. Alex Jones got pushed off of the airwaves, what, 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago now. Since I moved to Costa Rica, when I was living in Lake Arenal, he got pushed off of social media because, you know, if you tell too much truth and you become too big and you become a threat to the status quo, the people who think they are in charge, the people that think they own the future, they don't, but they do think they own the future as well, and they think that they're going to control us forever, and they're not. When you start to get as big as an Alex Jones, then there's a problem, and the problem has to be contained and eliminated, and that's exactly what they did.
And they are dangerous and they don't play small. So,
No, they don't. They absolutely don't. And but it takes a few good men with testosterone and a few good women that say enough is enough. We've had it. Okay. So now, yes, technically speaking, the way the Constitution is written right now, and our forefathers could have not foreseen this technological leap forward, if you will, as we are experiencing right now. So they weren't able to write that into the Constitution because if they were able to foresee this leap of technology we're in, I can absolutely assure you it would be in the Constitution. Okay, so these tech giants are using this against us. Say we're a private company and we could do whatever. And technically speaking, they're right. But things are about to change. Why? Because people like you and people like me are demanding change because the rules that were written for this planet that we're graduating out of no longer serve us correctly in this new planet that we're emerging into. This new reality, this new world, right? So the idea of reinforcing the First Amendment is a great idea, but I think really coming to uh, my senses on the whole thing and really looking at it from every conceivable angle, I think it's best that we also have a Bill of Rights that enforces the new First Amendment, for example, where if you are a private company, you can no longer censor free speech. Now, what kind of penalties are going to be in place? I hope there's going to be plenty. I hope they'll be so heavy, like $5 billion fines that they're not going to be able to withstand the fines. They're not going to say, "Oh yeah, here's $5 billion, go away," and we'll keep censoring. They're not going to be able to handle that. And so if we have heavy duty fines, these are the new rules. Either abide by the new, First Amendment. This is America, and it was founded on free speech, or you get the hell out of our country. Period. Right? Or if you rack up 2, 3 fines on the third strike or the fourth strike, we take over your company. I do believe that Donald Trump and his sons and daughters know a few programmers out there, and we can handle taking over a YouTube and running it flawlessly with no speed bumps, no algorithm bullshit, whatever.
Yes, but what I've seen though is I'm from a family of doctors and lawyers and nurses, and it seems to me that almost everyone in the government is a part of this kind of global mafia cartel that is behind all this. So, how do we get around that? I mean, how do we vote everybody out? It doesn't matter whether they're Republican or Democrat, from what I can tell.
Yeah, well, we have been distracted with reality TV shows and game shows and all the nonsense. And now that the car has gone off the cliff, and it doesn't matter whether you're a normie, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a millennial, whatever, or what is Gen Z generation, everybody knows that the car's gone off the deep end. Where we know we're in free fall now. How do we deploy the parachutes? How many parachutes do we need to deploy so that we can soften the landing, right? And it's not a crash landing. So now the bottom line becomes that, now that everybody knows about it, how do we fix it? And there's a lot to fix because we've allowed every aspect of our world, whether it's education, whether it's in Netflix, whether it's in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they've infiltrated, these Marxist organizations have infiltrated every aspect of our lives. We pay taxes to send our kids so that they can be brainwashed to be good little communists. And now we have a problem.
Yes, it's taken decades, and I believe this is in their playbook that they've been going by for what, since 1964 or
Since I
some,
was born, I was born in
somewhere
63.
around. Well, you're just a youngster.
I don't know about that.
But sorry, my phone.
Yeah,
Um, but our republic was based on God, the divine creator's, you know, law. And that is actually in our Constitution.
right.
And it has not been used by this government.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, the movie. It seems that it's been put together by the grace of God. It's bringing the patriot community together for the first time in a long time. And instead of everybody trying to compete for that crumb, everybody should be coming together and fight together because together we're much stronger than to try to. Look, there's a lot of podcasters out there that they think this 8 billion people belong to them. And I say, stop jockeying for position. Let's unite. We all know that a lot of us are talented enough to be much bigger than what we are, right? Which means if you're not allowing Mel Carmine, for example, if I was good enough to reach 1 million people, and you're keeping me at 100,000, that means you're stealing 90% of my audience, and you're stealing 90% of my money. Correct? They're afraid because if I have a real message that's real truth and it gets out, and I have 1 million people, I'm more effective when I talk to 1 million people than when I talk to 100,000.
Yes.
This is what they're afraid of. So by putting this movie together and giving every podcaster a voice, 45 seconds, come in and tell, dear Mr. President, my name is so and so. I run such and such podcast. I'm tired of the censorship. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. At least it's not just Mel Carmine, some nut job here in Merritt Island, Cape Canaveral, saying it. It's a bunch of us saying the same thing. And it's going to be a lot more effective.
Yes, and I think I've noticed that people are so afraid to speak up these days. They're so subservient to authority, regardless of whether that person should have authority over them or not. And, how do you take the fear out of people if they're sitting in front of a television all the time, getting that vision
Well,
programmed into their head
yep,
to make them so servient to whatever person decides they're going to pretend to be authority.
absolutely. And I'm going to share my screen here in a second. I'm going to go to my channel. Just give me a second, and I'll go to the actual documentary trailer. You've seen the trailer, right? I'm sure.
Yes, it's excellent.
Yeah, the second one. We actually have two of those. But
Oh, okay.
yeah. Um YouTube Studio contents. Voila. Let's see which one is it. Here it is. Let me cue it up. Okay. Give me. I have to walk myself through these silly platforms. There we go. Share the screen. Tell me if you can see my screen.
Not yet.
All right. Here we go. You should be able to see it now.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Now I got the mouse where I have two screens, and I got to figure out how to get the mouse up to the second screen. All right. Here we go. In a nation founded on liberty, the right to speak is slipping away. From the airwaves to algorithms, America's voice is being stifled by corporations, by platforms, by fear.
Censorship. It's a much bigger threat to democracy than anything that we've seen in this country in the last 4 years, in the last 40 years.
One man dared to fight back with a letter to the president.
The idea of the letter turns into a full-blown documentary.
The American people are demanding to see arrests at this point because we have the proof beyond a shadow of a doubt. I want to see, I think I speak for the American people. I think you guys would agree. If we were to put together a really cool email, but not send the email because that email will never get sent, but turn it into an audio and put it all over the internet and have the patriots just move it out there, okay? Wow. I mean, like, let it spread out there like crazy until it gets to Donald Trump and let them know the American people want to see fucking arrests. The people of the world want to see arrests. Because I'll tell you what, the people of other nations are waiting to invite in, okay, DOGE, because if you think it's only happening in the United States of America, you're making a big mistake. His words sparked a movement among podcaster and various patriots. A call to reclaim free speech. I wrote to the president because silence isn't freedom, it's surrender. Silence no more follows one man's bold solution to confront censorship head on and the ripple effect shaking the nation. This letter isn't just words, it's a challenge to the system. One letter, one voice, one chance to change everything. That's actually the first trailer. Did you ever see that one?
That's the one I saw. It was so
Oh,
good.
that's the one you saw. Okay. There's a second one which is really cool. We might as well play that one as well. I think they're both phenomenal, to be quite honest with you. We have an incredible editing, guys. Let's see here. Escape.
I'm assuming that you know who Dr. David Martin is, and he actually has evidence that these people could be prosecuted for racketeering, that they started planning this before any kind of emergency or any kind of protection was put towards them. And he tried to get every single attorney general in the United States to prosecute them. And only the one in Utah would prosecute him, and then they had a corrupt judge.
All
So
right.
he says that many of these lawyers or attorney generals and people, they're just too afraid to,
Oh, I get that. I get that. Now we're gonna watch the second trailer. You didn't see this one, or the one you saw is the one you saw.
that's the one I saw.
Okay, let's go to this one here now. Tell me if you can see my screen.
I can.
Okay, you can, right?
Yes.
Dear Mr. President.
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 Dear Mr. President, when did freedom of speech become a crime? In the land of the free, voices are vanishing, opinions are policed, truth is under fire. They say it's about safety, I say it's about silence. Who's watching the watchmen? Who's filtering your feed? Who benefits from your silence? From the classroom to the newsroom, from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C., who decides what you can say?
Censorship.
Censorship. Censorship.
The censorship. Censorship. It's a much bigger threat to democracy than anything that we've seen in this country in the last 4 years, in the last 40 years.
Our First Amendment is under assault, not just by big tech, but by government agencies. Voices are being silenced.
A world without censorship would mean we can freely expose the elections and, of course, child trafficking. I believe the American spirit would kick in if they had access to the real information.
We've had channels taken down from nearly every form of social media. We knew when you uttered the term fake news that you were up to something different. We're honored to contribute to this documentary on censorship.
I have only one thing to ask. I just only want to see some accountability from somebody. Just pull that pin and throw that grenade already, buddy. That's all every American wants to see, is just some accountability for the crimes against us all. Thank you, sir. And long live the Republic.
Is that wild?
Really great.
Yeah.
One thing I think I'd do is I'd put Louis Herm's name on his where he's talking, because it's not there, and there may be a few
Yeah.
people around that still don't know who he is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And we're running literally by the seat of our pants. We're not expert Hollywood movie producers. We don't have, millions of dollars worth of equipment. We're doing this on a shoestring budget, a hope and a prayer. You know what I mean? But the name is right. The people are the podcasters are coming at us. We got Trennis, like I said, coming at us. Travis Evans, who's a big known figure. I mean, Donald Trump hires you. You're pretty well known, right? So I think through him, we'll be able to network and get, Joe Hoff, Gateway Pundit, and through Joe, we'll probably have a very high probability of getting to an Alex Jones, etc. Now, now we become a contender, even though it's a ragtag army of wannabe filmmakers. I think we're going to do a really, really good job in the end. And there's going to be another documentary that's coming that's already not in the works, but it's already the idea is out there. And that's going to be equally as powerful as this one. And it's going to piss off everybody in America. Okay. And so get ready for that one. I won't even give you a hint because I don't want anybody to try and figure out what it is. But that one's going to be incredible. So, yeah. So what did you think about the name, the idea, and how this has all come about? I know that you were approached by Carol Maureen there in Costa Rica. How does she approach you?
Well, she's one of my best friends.
Okay.
And I've been down there and visited her, and we've been friends a very long time. And so she knows I've been doing this podcast for 12 years. And then when they started the whole fake demic and everything, and they were giving everybody advice that I knew was absolutely the opposite of what anybody would do to get healthy, I was putting out information like by the neurosurgeon Russell L. Blaylock, MD, about, how harmful it is to suffocate yourself and wear those ridiculous masks that they put on you, which are, absolutely so harmful because you're breathing in your waste all day long and you're not getting any fresh air and oxygen. And I call them suffocation devices. But, I'm putting information out there and I'm interviewing people like Dr. Sherry Tenpenny and Dr. Lee Merritt. And we're talking about the dangers of the, protocols that they're putting into place. And when my radio show owner is uploading my shows to like YouTube and things, he's getting hit with these, um, I don't know what you call them, uh, you know, he's getting penalized and they're not letting him upload them. And then I started interviewing people like Dr. Stephanie Senev, who's a vaccine expert and autism and Alzheimer's and various other things like glyphosate expert. And, I couldn't even upload my shows to YouTube.
No, if
And
you
then they
start
started,
speaking facts and figures on this glyphosates and all the stuff, vaccines, you're not allowed to have an opinion,
no,
Nancy. What's wrong with
they,
you?
they don't want
You know?
anybody to even address that. And then with my newsletters, if I even put those words in there, it gets sent to spam. So I actually have to like put the first letter and then just dot, dot, dot in the last letter because if it sees anything like the word vaccine or COVID or anything like that, it will just directly just trash my newsletters for my people. And I had like 5,000 people taken off my newsletter list, and I don't even know how, if it was some kind of a technology thing.
Oh,
But
somebody hacked your computer
I don't know what it was,
or your
but
account?
there are certain people that no matter how many times they sign up for my newsletter, they still are not getting it.
Yeah.
And, LinkedIn, I had so many people following me and they just, deactivate you out of the blue. And you're just left with it. I had over 90,000 people looking at my Pinterest account because I was posting, authentic, really good information to actually stay well and protect yourself and things like that. And it was just totally deactivated out of the blue. And there's nothing you can do about it. So it's
No.
just, and I live out in the country and I'm 70. I write all these books and I've been helping people for, I don't know, 20 years get well using holistic methods. And for some reason, that just really came under attack. And I really rely on a lot of these types of forums in order to have people be able to find me. So this has been a real problem.
Sure. So I thank you for making your clip that is going to be in the documentary. That's going to be awesome. So it's a working progress. We're trying to get it all done by the first week, the second week of August. So we'll see. We're communicating with Ted Nugent's assistant right now. That could be huge. I mean, I saw Ted Nugent when he was 25 years old at Giant Stadium in '79. With his long hair down to his butt. Playing his guitar. A long time ago. That sort of gives away how old I am, right? So, yeah.
Well, that is really soon, and I am very much looking forward to it. And I think everybody needs to see it. I mean, my daughter just married a man from France, and I'm in France. They won't even let people over there watch the channel Rumble. And so I think this is happening all over the world. I know Dr. Brian Artis, he was running his show and his event in Australia, and Australia totally blocked his entire event. So no one could see what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So, this is a very pervasive situation and it's harming the normal person who doesn't know the information that maybe you and I know about holistic health and how to be well.
Well,
So,
I actually own a healing center in Cape Canaveral, my wife and I. I had to stop that. I don't know if you heard that ringing, but that was my friend Oni just called me because she's so ecstatic because she made 6 times her money moving her Bitcoin, not to get off track, into XRP than to keep it into Bitcoin. Bitcoin, she would have doubled her money. With XRP, she's 6 times her money. So she's ecstatic right now.
Well, that's wonderful. Congratulations to her.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
with the whole monetary situation so insane, and most of this is being really, I believe this is what Dr. David Martin says. You know, a lot of this is just the mafia bankers who are
Oh,
behind this.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it makes people very uncomfortable, and I think anxiety and suicide is so high. And so, you know, I actually consider my podcast and my message to people, it's like my ministry because, you know, people just need to know how to handle these things without drugs and without
Yeah.
surgeries. And
Well, you're part of the movie. If anytime you're on the air, if you remember to play the trailer for your audience, that'll be great. Let people know because right now we're in the middle of trying to, for example, do a press release. And now we're going through a press release company that I'm very sure, based on their rules and regulations, our press release is going to get kicked back, and they're the biggest one. They're the biggest one. So I got to scramble a network and try to find out who knows what about press release companies to try and find a patriot press release company that's friendly, right, to patriots. It's crazy, right? But this press release company, for example, we could reach 189 million outlets. Unbelievable, right? But
yeah,
I can't speak my mind. I said to my wife Amber, even if we rewrote the thing tamed down, no political stuff, just let them know about, dear Mr. President.net, dear Mr. President.net, and they would go to the website and they realize what this is about, they would flag this press release just on that alone.
yeah,
That's
yes,
what we're dealing with.
I absolutely agree with you. Yes. And we're just living in a very interesting situation here. And I think people don't realize when they are quiet and they don't speak up, they acquiesce. And by law, that means that they are assuming and will take it by law that they are agreeing with the program that they are implementing. And I think, you know, we need to put that fire under people and say, hey, you are losing your rights. Do you even care? And
Exactly.
if you do, you need to do something about this.
Yep,
You want
absolutely.
your children and your grandchildren to have freedom of speech or freedom at all, period.
Right, right. So so where do we go from here? I mean, how do people find you, by the way? What is your website address?
Organichealthylife.com.
Perfect.
And um, a lot of people listen to my show uploaded to the podcast channel on iHeartRadio, and it's Organic Healthy Lifestyle.
How many people listen to you on iHeartRadio?
I think last time, and it was about a year ago, I checked it. It was somewhere around 140, 150,000 downloads a month.
Okay,
So
how often do you go on that radio station?
once a week, and it goes to about 52 countries. I know there's about
Cool.
52 countries that listen to me.
Yeah, if you could put some little footnotes, little sticky notes around your computer whenever you go on the air, remember to promote the documentary. That would be greatly appreciated.
I certainly will. And I'm going to upload this onto my Brighteon channel, which is
Awesome.
Mike Adams, who's got a non-censoring channel.
Yes, yes, I know. Is Mike Adams available? Are you friends with him?
I know people that know him. He lives about 45 minutes away.
Okay.
So,
Where are you located most of the time?
so I'm south of Austin.
Okay. Great. Yeah, if you have access to him, get my number through Carol Maureen and have him give me a buzz.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna see one of his friends Friday.
Yeah. Is
So,
he still communicating with Alex Jones at all?
you know, I don't know because I don't know him personally, but I know a lot of people who are good friends with him. So I'll get him your
That'll be
information.
great. Appreciate that. Well, guys, we do have to pay the bills around here. But when you go to dearmrpresident.net, opt in so you'll be one of the first ones to know when the movie release is, etc. So do that. Also, we have a donate button. The movie is free of charge. If anybody out there knows any movie theaters that are independent movie theaters, you can send me a text message on my Google Voice. Be very thorough. This way I know that you probably met me through one of the shows. 786 704 8817. 786 704 8817. Also, if you want to buy a large amount of XRP, nothing less than $10,000, and you could go as high as you want. If you say, Mel, I got $1 million or $10 million or $100 million burning in my pocket, can I get you that much XRP? The answer is yes. So call me, and you don't have to go through you don't have to go through a brokerage firm that doesn't answer phone calls like Uphold and Coinbase, and nobody answers emails. They have 0.000 customer service. If you want to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody or set up a Zoom call, my guys will do that with you. They'll walk you through, by the hand and set up your wallet, all that stuff. The kind of stuff you don't get at Uphold. So that makes it easy, simple. And if you happen to be in Cape Canaveral, don't forget to stop at Staying Alive with 2 E's at the end, not 1 E, 2 E's. Staying Alive with 2 E's. The other one belongs to the Bee Gees. And come and hang out in our healing center. It charges the body. We have a frequency healing, hyper frequency light system. I don't know if Carol told you.
No.
Yeah. And it actually regenerates all your cells. Your body, it's your body that does all the heavy lifting. The machines are not medical devices. We don't cure anything. But as soon as you're in that system, your body recognizes what that is, and your cells get optimized to 90 millivolts. And guess what happens when your body's cells get optimized to 90 millivolts? Your body goes into repair mode. That's why I'm not allowed to exist. I'm not allowed to talk, because I have things that are dangerous to the status quo.
Well, Mel, it's been a pleasure talking to you today, and I'm really looking forward to the final product of your film.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to, maybe we'll have a party somewhere if it's a huge success, which I think it should be. If all the podcasters pool together and we get a good press release, and we do 4 or 5 press releases between now and launch date, boom, then we're off to the races. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's all about teamwork makes the dream work.
I love that. Yes. Well, thank you, and good fortune to you.
Thank you.